I appreciate everyone coming out to listen today. And I'm going to start by asking you guys to take a moment to reflect on any preconceived notions or ideas that you have when you think of a cult or of religious extremism. And so likely, whatever you're thinking of a group whose members somewhat uncritically or kind of blindly follow what is seemingly a flawed ideological system. What's less likely, however, is to consider the greater context or broader culture which develops and facilitates beliefs in such a system of belief. And so, through considering this context, we can begin to understand the interdependent nature of culture and religion and how each impacts the development of the other. And it's important to understand this relationship because that can increase our own understanding of ourselves and our own beliefs and cultures and our understanding of others and their beliefs and cultures as well. So today, we're going to start by taking a broad look at the development of some aspects of Appalachian culture before taking a more narrow look at Appalachian Pentecostal and Holiness churches, and specifically those who engage in the traditions of taking out poisonous serpents and consuming deadly poison as religious tradition. So Appalachia as a whole is one of the most poverty-stricken communities in America. And according to the Population Reference Bureau, the region faces 6% higher poverty rate on average than regions outside of Appalachia. And according to another study done at the University of Nevada, areas specifically associated with coal mining, which is largely central Appalachia, face even higher rates of poverty. And this is largely due to a history of exploitation at the hands of outsiders in the form of corporations. And this history of exploitation has developed a deep distrust of outsiders throughout the region. And this distrust of outsiders, along with physical isolation due to geographical barriers and distance between communities, has led to the development of a highly insulated culture within Appalachia. And this insulation then in turn combined with underfunding by the government and a lack of reinvestment by these corporations which exploit the labor and resources of the region has left this sort of void of secular organizations which could provide a system of support or develop a sense of community throughout the region. And so stepping into this void, what you often have are religious institutions or churches. And as a result, these religious institutions have a dramatic impact and a fundamental role in developing the culture of Appalachia. And due to this, what you see are various subcultures throughout the region, which each practice their own unique traditions and emphasize their own particular doctrines. And none of these subcultures are seen as more unique or more peculiar than that of the Pentecostal and Holiness churches, which believe in the doctrine of the signs following. And so this language, the signs following, actually comes directly from the Bible in Matthew chapter 16, when Jesus tells his disciples to go into the world and preach to all creation. And these signs shall accompany those who believe. They shall cast out devils, they shall speak in new tongues, they shall take up serpents, and they shall drink deadly things, and it shall not hurt them. And so what you have in these signs following communities throughout central Appalachia is a literal interpretation of this verse and a belief that it's a divine command to demonstrate faith in God. And while this is unique and interesting to talk about and learn about, I don't want to focus on it too intently or primarily because it's really just one small aspect of their broader faith-centered culture. And in Robert K. Holliday's book, Test of Faith, we can really begin to see on full display this faith-centered culture. The book is really a series of interviews conducted in a West Virginian sign-following community. And through these interviews, you can begin to get a sense of what it means to these people to belong to this culture. And you see a people with a great amount of joy brought to them by their belonging to this culture, and a comfort brought to them through their belief in these doctrines and their participation in these traditions. And so while it's easy to see people engage in practices that are so foreign to your own everyday experience and define them by that single practice as a sort of static or unchanging thing, I would encourage reservations to come to a hasty judgment of these people, because that tradition is really just one small aspect of a larger culture, and it's the result of a confluence of a number of different influences. And for example, it's no coincidence that this seemingly extreme practice manifests itself aligned geographically with the most historically exploited and most isolated region of Appalachia. And so it's important to come to appreciate the development of culture and religion and the relationship between the two in order to come to a greater understanding of the development of our own culture and of our own system of beliefs, and to come to a better understanding and respect of cultures and beliefs that are contrary to our own. Thank you.